We always root for the hero. But have you ever stopped to think about how much they actually go through? Like genuinely suffer? Here are 8 times we felt bad for the hero, starting with Rapunzel from Tangled. This girl spent 18 years locked in a tower by a woman who literally kidnapped her as a baby. But here's the thing, Mother Gothel didn't just imprison her, she gaslit her into believing the outside world would destroy her.
The outside world is a dangerous place, filled with horrible, selfish people.
Rapunzel's entire childhood was a lie, and the worst part, she actually loved her kidnapper.
I love you more.
That's Stockholm Syndrome on steroids. Imagine finally escaping, discovering your real parents, and realizing you've been manipulated your entire life. The woman you trusted most, she was using you for your magic hair like you're some kind of anti-aging product.
Let your power shine.
And don't even get me started on the emotional whiplash. One day you're singing with Mother Gothel. The next, you're watching her disintegrate into dust after finding out she murdered people to keep you captive.
We are going where no one will ever find you again.
This girl literally watched her abuser age rapidly and crumble in front of her eyes. That's not a Disney movie, that's a horror film disguised as a musical. Yeah, I'd need therapy too. Multiple sessions, for years. But at least Rapunzel got her happy ending. Kenai from Brother Bear? Not so much. This guy's entire life gets flipped upside down in like 5 minutes. First, his brother Sitka dies saving him from a bear. Then, consumed by grief and rage, Kenai kills the bear for revenge. And what does the universe do? Turns him into the very thing he just murdered. Talk about instant karma. But here's where it gets worse. Kenai meets Coda, this adorable bear cub who won't stop talking. And slowly, Kenai starts to care about him. They bond, they laugh, they become brothers.
You mean like this? Or like this?
Until Kenai realizes the horrifying truth, he killed Coda's mom. The bear he murdered for revenge? That was Coda's mother. Can you imagine having to tell a kid, hey, remember your mom? Yeah, I'm the one who killed her.
Your mother's not coming.
That's not a Disney movie. That's a therapy session waiting to happen. And even after becoming human again, Kenai chooses to stay a bear forever to take care of Coda. The guy sacrifices his humanity out of guilt. He gives up his family, his culture, his entire identity just to atone for what he did.
He needs me.
If that's not suffering, I don't know what is. Most people can't even commit to a gym membership, and Kenai committed to being a different species for the rest of his life. That's dedication born from trauma. And speaking of guilt, let's talk about Hiro Hamada from Big Hero 6. This kid is a literal genius. At 14, he's already smarter than most adults. But intelligence doesn't protect you from trauma. Hiro's brother Tadashi dies in a fire trying to save his professor.
Callahan's in there. Someone has to help.
And here's the kicker. The only reason Tadashi was even at that showcase was because Hiro wanted to get into his university.
I have to go here. If I don't go to this nerd school, I'm gonna lose my mind.
So in Hiro's mind, his brother's death is his fault. Imagine being 14 years old and watching your brother run into a burning building. Then it explodes right in front of you. That's not just loss. That's witnessing a traumatic death that will haunt you forever. And Hiro doesn't even get time to grieve properly before he's thrown into a superhero plot he never asked for. Oh, and the professor Tadashi died saving? Yeah, he faked his death and is actually the villain.
No! No! No!
So Tadashi's sacrifice was for nothing.
Went in there to save you.
That was his mistake.
Absolutely nothing. This kid lost his parents when he was 3, then lost his brother at 14. At this point, Hiro's collecting trauma like Pokemon cards. And instead of getting counseling, he builds a superhero team and goes after a masked villain who turns out to be the man his brother died trying to save. The betrayal alone would destroy most people, but Hiro, he just keeps going because what else is he supposed to do? The poor kid even tries to kill the guy in a fit of rage before Baymax stops him.
Do it, Baymax. Destroy him.
That's what grief does to you. But you know who might have Hiro beat in the trauma department? Simba from The Lion King. This cub watches his father die, gets blamed for it, and then gets exiled into the desert as a child, all before he even hits puberty.
Long live the king.
That moment right there, that's Simba's entire world collapsing. He just watched his dad fall to his death, and immediately after, Scar manipulates him into thinking it's his fault.
And if it weren't for you, he'd still be alive.
Simba's uncle just killed his father and convinced him he's a murderer. That's psychological warfare on a whole different level. So what does Simba do? He runs away and lives in exile, haunted by guilt for years. This kid spent his entire childhood believing he killed his own dad, and when he finally comes back as an adult, he has to fight his uncle, reclaim his kingdom, and process the fact that he was manipulated his whole life. Most people go to therapy for less. Simba had to become king instead. No wonder he looks so stressed in The Lion King 2. The guy's probably got PTSD, survivor's guilt, and abandonment issues all rolled into one furry package. And let's not forget, he came back to find his entire kingdom destroyed, his mother still grieving, and the whole pride struggling to survive.
It's over. There is nothing left.
So not only does he have to deal with his own trauma, he's got to rebuild an entire civilization, all because his uncle decided to commit fratricide and blame it on a child. Yeah, Simba earned that throne, but at what cost? At least Simba became king and got the girl.
Oh my God! Wow!
Quasimodo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame? He got neither. This guy might have the saddest hero story in Disney history. Let's start with his childhood. Frollo, the man who killed his mother, raises him in a bell tower and convinces him he's a monster.
You are deformed.
I am deformed.
And you are ugly.
And I am ugly.
And these are crimes for which the world shows little pity.
Imagine growing up with your mom's murderer as your father figure, and he spends every day reminding you that you're too hideous to be loved. That's 20 years of emotional abuse. Quasimodo's entire life is isolation and shame. But then he meets Esmeralda, and for the first time, someone treats him like a human being.
See? No harm done.
So naturally, he falls for her. And you're rooting for him because this guy deserves something good, right? Wrong. She falls for Phoebus instead. Esmeralda's a great person, but Quasimodo saves her life multiple times, defies the only authority figure he's ever known, and risks everything for her. And his reward? Watching her kiss someone else. The man got friend-zoned after a lifetime of suffering. Even Disney said,
Yeah, this one doesn't get a happy ending.
brutal. And unlike other heroes who at least get some kind of closure, Quasimodo just has to accept it and move on. He doesn't get the girl. He doesn't get a family. He just gets acceptance from the townspeople who spent years treating him like a circus attraction. That's supposed to be his happy ending? Being tolerated instead of feared? The bar was in hell. You know who else doesn't quite fit in? Hercules. Yeah, the literal demigod. You'd think being the son of Zeus would come with perks, but this guy's life is a mess from day one. Hades kidnaps him as a baby, strips him of his godhood, and dumps him on Earth. So Hercules grows up as a mortal, but with godlike strength he can't control, and because of that, everyone treats him like a freak.
But I'm different than those other guys, Phil. I can go the distance.
He destroys everything he touches. The town basically exiles him because he's a walking disaster. So he's got the strength of a god, but none of the acceptance.
Nobody loves me. Nobody.
He doesn't belong with mortals, but he's not a god anymore either. Talk about an identity crisis. And when he finally earns his godhood back after literally dying and coming back to life, he makes the ultimate sacrifice.
I wish to stay on Earth with her.
He gives it up to stay with Meg, which is sweet, sure, but let's be real. This guy spent his entire life trying to prove he belongs on Olympus, achieves it, and then immediately throws it away. He saves the world, defeats Hades, becomes a true hero, and his reward is being human again. The same thing he spent the whole movie trying to escape. Hercules really said, "I suffered for nothing." That's rough. And think about it. He went from zero to hero, battled monsters, saved his father, became immortal, and then chose mortality for a girl he knew for like a week. Don't get me wrong, Meg's great, but that's a massive life decision to make so quickly. The guy gave up eternal life and godhood. Most people can't even decide what to eat for dinner. Speaking of identity crises, let's talk about Meilin Lee from Turning Red. On the surface, she's got it together. Straight A student, perfect daughter, does everything her mom asks. But underneath, this girl is drowning in generational trauma. Her mom, Ming, is so overbearing that Mei can't even exist without being monitored 24/7. Every decision, every friend, every interest gets filtered through her mother's approval. And the worst part? Mei actually tries to be the perfect daughter because she doesn't want to disappoint her.
Killed it per usual. Check it out.
But then puberty hits, and she literally turns into a giant red panda every time she feels an emotion. Which for a 13-year-old girl is constantly. Imagine going through the most awkward phase of your life, except your body physically transforms into a giant animal and everyone can see it. And here's the kicker. This whole panda curse exists because of generational trauma passed down from her mom, her grandma, and every woman in her family. Mei didn't ask for this. She inherited it. So not only is she dealing with her own problems, she's carrying the emotional baggage of like 4 generations of women who never process their issues. In the end, Mei keeps the panda and learns to accept herself. But let's be honest, she's 13. She's going to need therapy in her 20s when she realizes how much of her childhood was spent people-pleasing. And the fact that her mom literally transforms into a kaiju-sized panda and almost destroys a stadium because Mei wanted to go to a concert? Yeah, that's not normal parenting. That's emotional manipulation with giant panda destruction as a side effect. Poor Mei can't even enjoy a boy band without her family trauma manifesting as a 40-foot red panda spirit animal. That's a core memory she'll be unpacking for decades. But here's the hero no one talks about. Linguini from Ratatouille. Yeah, that guy. Most people don't think twice about him, but when you actually break down his life, it's depressing. First off, the man is an orphan. His mom just died, and he never even knew his father. So he's alone, broke, and working a garbage job at a restaurant where the head chef actively hates him.
You are cooking? How dare you cook in my kitchen?
Skinner treats him like dirt, and Linguini's just trying to survive. But then, a rat falls into his life, literally.
What?
And suddenly, this rat is controlling his body like a puppet, and Linguini just goes with it, because what else is he supposed to do? But here's where it gets sad. Linguini's entire culinary career is a lie. Every dish, every praise, every success. It's all Remy. Linguini knows this. He's living a fraud, and everyone thinks he's a genius. That's got to mess with your head. And when the truth comes out,
He's the cook. The real cook.
Colette walks out on him, the staff abandons him, and his entire reputation crumbles in seconds. The one thing he had going for him, gone. All because he trusted a rat to be his brain. In the end, Linguini opens a bistro and things work out. But let's not forget, this guy spent the entire movie being humiliated, manipulated, and lied to. Even his success wasn't really his. Poor guy couldn't even cook toast without a rodent. And the worst part? He gets compared to his famous chef father, Auguste Gusteau, the whole time. Imagine living in the shadow of a dad you never met, only to find out a rat cooks better than you ever could. That's not just an identity crisis, that's an existential nightmare. Linguini's entire existence became a puppet show, and he was painfully aware of it the whole time. Heroes suffer, no question, but suffering doesn't always mean you're right. Sometimes the hero makes the worst possible decision and we just accept it because they're the protagonist, but not anymore. Don't believe me? Watch this next video and I'll prove it to you.